Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this presentation about Mozambique, Africa, emerging tourism and investment destination. Firstly, I will try to take you to the warmth of Africa. Berlin is very cold, so just please sit back and relax and enjoy Mozambique. The presentation is made up of four chapters. The first one will be the legal framework, how we got all the laws to attract investment and how to promote tourism into Mozambique. And then there was a need to stand out from the crowd, and by doing so, we had to develop our branding, not only for promotion, but also to attract investment into Mozambique. Then I will give you a brief meaning of what is the meaning of this branding, which was carried out some 2 years ago. And fourthly, it will be the strategy in order to attract investment and to lure tourists into Mozambique. And last but least, the needs the country has in terms of investment to the country. Firstly, I'll give you briefly some facts about the country. We're located in Southern Africa, and we are actually landlocked by English-speaking countries. We are the only Portuguese-speaking country in the sub area, and being Portuguese, our language is actually one of the attractives to visit the country. The capital, Maputo, which has got about 1.5 million people. So Mozambique is a country of breathtaking landscapes. It's a country made up of 2,800 kilometers of coastline, incredible ocean waters and pristine beaches, which is one at this stage of the main products for Mozambique, the beaches. We're also combining flora and fauna with the beach to actually make it a combination for both segments of the market. And it's a vibrant culture and peoples. It's a melting pot of African, Arab, Chinese, European, India, Latin, and World Heritage sites, which also has an influence on the cuisine of the country. So tourism, this is a legal framework. Tourism has been declared priority sector for economic development in 2004. It was adopted a strategic plan for development of the industry for a decade. A master plan also has been developed, and there are a series of enabling measures have been put on to actually facilitate investment into the country. I'll give you some figures of tourism growth in Mozambique. As you can see, tourism is still a new industry in the country. In terms of revenues, for 2009, we had something like $195.6 million as revenues for a number of arrivals of about 3 million tourists. The major generating countries for Mozambique at this stage are South Africa, UK, Portugal, and Italy. Germany is also coming a bit on the way. That's why we had to come here for ITB and for the Tourism Investment Forum, which was held at Intercontinental Hotel, in a way of attracting more people to invest in the country and to increase the number of Germans enjoying the beaches and the good South Mozambique. So the key principles, as all its international trend, we adopted sustainable tourism planning principles in order to avoid what has happened in some countries in the Caribbean, which did not follow some principles, and at the end of the day, they had problems of sustainability. So we're enhancing public-private partnerships and other forms like BOT, and we involve local community so that people can get involved and benefit out of tourism. Other enabling measures, political and macroeconomic stability, which is the base for us to lure investment in the country. We're stable for about 20 years now. A new tourism policy was adopted, a new labor law to make things easier for foreigners to work in Mozambique. As you know, we also have big problems with capacity building. So at this stage, we do actually accept to have foreigners working in the country in order to transmit, to make a transfer of skills and knowledge to the local people. Coming into marketing, this is the vision for the country, to make Mozambique a top destination in Africa, combining both flora and fauna to the beaches, so it's going to be a combination beach and bush, and involving local communities into the business. Those just some major products. As the old saying says, a picture goes a long way than words. So I had to put some pictures for you to see what actually is Mozambique in terms of its major products, whereby we have sun, sea, and sand as the major one. We have the culture, and I would actually have to mention here, unfortunately the pictures are not very good in terms of quality, but my pictures here are wonderful. I wish everyone could have a chance to see the pictures I have here. I would actually mention as well that in terms of culture, Mozambique Island, which was the first capital of Mozambique, was declared by United Nations Education and Science Organization, UNESCO, as a World Heritage Site. So it could be one of the top places to be visited by Germans, as far as I know. The Germans love cultures. The Germans like to interact with local people. So this would be the destination for Germans at the first stage to visit. Entertainment, we are a cosmopolitan city. Entertainment, Africans are known well by dancing. And if you talk of dancing and sports, Africans usually come on the first spot. So Mozambique also is part of this. We have very good Caribbean style of dancing, African as well. So if you like nightlife, Maputo would be the place to go. Our target segments, camping, domestic. Talking of domestic, usually people when talk of tourism, they only target international tourists. And for the new tourism policy, which was adopted by the government, we are trying actually to make locals visit their own country. Because in a time of international crisis like now, people usually take long to take decisions to visit other countries. Whereby if we have local people traveling inside the country, we can revitalize the industry and things keep on going. So as you can see, not only leisure is part of tourism into Mozambique, but meetings, incentives, conferences, and events can also be part for tourism into Mozambique. I'll give you some pictures. Unfortunately, they are not very, the resolution are not very good, but just to have a clink of what is tourism in Mozambique. This is wildlife. Lake Nasa in northern Mozambique. As you can see, it's a lake beach. These are the Indian Ocean beaches with pristine beaches and turquoise waters. You can actually in the water see your own feet. You are in the water because they're very pristine. Marine life, dugong, which is one of the biggest mammals in the world. Coral reefs, for those who like scuba diving. Still, beach in a coral island. One of the tourism into Mozambique at this stage is mainly made up of visiting the islands, whereby people like to go to be, in a secluded destinations. We have Bazaruto Archipelago in southern Mozambique, Quirimbas Archipelago in northern Mozambique. That's the places where, at this stage, Europeans usually go for secluded holiday. Culture, as I mentioned earlier on, Mozambique is a melting pot of Arab, European, and African. This is called the musiro. Ladies use them to make their skin soft and tender. I mentioned earlier on Mozambique being the first capital of Mozambique, which has been declared International World Heritage Site. These are the pictures of the islands. Our goal is actually to develop and position Mozambique as a top destination with emphasis coastal resorts linked with diversity for ecotourism. I will later on actually elaborate a bit more on this so that we can have a clear idea when we talk about the coastal resorts and the newly adopted developments in terms of the master planning for development tourism in the country. So to make Mozambique stand out from the crowd, there was a need actually, and being a part of globally competitive environment, whereby all countries promote their own brands, we had to develop a brand to identify us in the market, to actually try to have positive associations with the brand in order to attract more people, not only investing in Mozambique by going as tourists. So the new brand is actually a DNA of the country, which is rich in secrets and natural treasures. Mozambique is natural heritage-based tourism, whereby the sun and the sand at this stage, I'm talking this stage because there are new developments to diversify the product and the segments for Mozambique. So it symbolizes a new moment, a moment of peace, calm waters, vibrant people, vibrant city life, a nation that needs to show its outstanding products and its peculiarities to the international market. This is the brand which has been developed some 2 years ago, which shows some vibrancy in terms of colors, the blue for the water, the yellow and red for the vibrancy of the city, the scuba diving and the corals, and blue symbolizing peace and tranquility. So the benefits for the new brand was actually to involve local people, to do tourism, to see that local people can benefit out of the new branding by bringing more people into the country and by actually putting Mozambique in the marketplace. Those are the priority areas which has been declared by government for investment. I will elaborate a little bit longer later on my presentation. So those are the opportunities for investment. You can see the priority areas for tourism investments, which were actually indicated all along the country in the map. The Anchor Investment Program, which is actually, we took this program for the investment forum, which held still this week at Intercontinental Hotel. The conservation areas, the community-based lodges and the ecotourism, and the possibilities of joint ventures in existing tourism facilities. Trying to actually elaborate on each investment opportunities, I'll start by the Anchor Investment Program, which is divided into three areas. In the northern side, we have Cruz Jamal, which are islands closer to the first capital of Mozambique, where we need a tourist resort to be developed. In the southern part, we have an integrated resort scheme, which will not only allow to be developed hotel accommodation, but also golf facilities, airstrip, and so on. And also in the southern part of the country, closer to the main generating country, we have Maputo Spatial Reserve, which we also looking for investment into this area. Those are some of the pictures of the biggest mammal in Maputo Elephant Reserve. Inyasoro area is, at the moment, Inyambani is the mecca for tourism into Mozambique. Beach holidays mainly. So there was a program which has been adopted to create more accommodation facilities in Inyasoro in an area of about 3,000 hectares, whereby we need 5- and 4-star hotels will be developed, golf facilities created, and more rooms will be created. Another program which has been approved is the Northern Arc Project. It was funded by USAID, an American agency, and it comprises of the 3 northern provinces of the country. Cabo Delgado is the second biggest in terms of tourism arrivals after Inhambane. Niassa, there is a pristine lake, which at the other side of Malawi is well developed. So we're trying also to create a balanced development for the Mozambican side. Nampula, as I mentioned earlier on, 2 islands are being promoted now for international tourism development, and a tender would be open soon to attract investors for that area. Another opportunities which we can present to this audience is the community-based lodges. We know Germans like to interact with locals, and the government has opened a space that investment can be channeled into this segment in order for those markets which are more into interaction with the communities can also have a space in visiting Mozambique by creating ecotourism enterprises with local people. These are examples of some of community lodges which have been developed and are open for tourist experiences. Another area which has been also of prime importance to low investment is the conservation areas, whereby we have national parks. We have about 6 national parks, 7 national resorts, and 19 game farms where investment is needed to actually upgrade all the facilities and open up for high international tourism. They are all spread all over the country. All green areas are national parks or games or hunting blocks. Gorongosa, I'm very sure everyone knows what is Gorongosa. It's a national park in central Mozambique, which last year has won an award at ITB. It was recognized by the international organization as one of the best developed national park in Mozambique. So opportunities for eco-lodges are still open, and tenders for tourism concessions in some areas are to be launched soon. Some more pictures of the Gorongosa National Park. These are the experiences which we're waiting for Germans to have in the national parks. Not only Germans, but for international market. So Mozambique at this stage needs development of integrated resorts and community-based tourism, just to wrap up. Supporting base infrastructure under public-private partnerships of build, operate, and transfer, and other schemes. Capacity building is needed for the country for Mozambicans to actually own the properties and be in front of their management, and competitive aviation sector. Maybe I will have to mention here that in terms of aviation sector, government has approved open sky policy so that many more airlines can fly into Mozambique, either through regular schemes or charter flights. The next destination for your holidays, visit and invest in Mozambique. I hope I've taken you all to visit my country still in Berlin, and look forward to welcome you in Mozambique. And I thank you.
Thank you very much. So we now have plenty of time, actually, if we have questions, comments for either the ambassador or also Mr. Noah. Ah, yes, in the back. Okay, please, as always, if you could stand, introduce yourself, would be great.
Thank you, sir, for the introduction about Mozambique. Colin Evans, Euclid University. Mozambique is unique in that it has been given accession to the British Commonwealth. Could you give us a few words on how you feel that has changed or enhanced your nation branding? The fact that even though you're not a former colonial possession of the UK, but you do have this new networking ability of being in the British Commonwealth?
Thank you for this interesting question. I'm not sure whether I'll be the right person to talk about political issues, Commonwealth, and the stuff. But the common knowledge I have is about the why we joined Commonwealth. Is Mozambique, if you can actually have a look at the African map, is surrounded by only English-speaking countries. So with the regional integration in Africa, there was a need actually for us not only to join the Commonwealth, but other organizations which actually can add value into Mozambique. So I will ask the ambassador probably, to give some more input. But the way I see it, being in an English area, the only Portuguese speaking, and we could actually get more by joining the British Commonwealth. Not only for political reasons, but also for economic integration. And as you know, there is an organization in Southern Africa by the name SADC, which aims to actually integrate the all countries into one destination. If I may actually talk about tourism side, you might have heard about Retosa, which is a regional organization for tourism, which also actually promote the whole region as one destination. Probably Mr. Dos Santos can actually have some more to say about this Mozambique joining Commonwealth. I thank you in advance for your help.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As introduced, my name is Carlos dos Santos, Ambassador of Mozambique here. I thank Gildo for starting to answer this question about the Commonwealth. I was privileged to work actually with the Commonwealth when Mozambique was called a cousin of the Commonwealth. And why? Because Mozambique in Southern Africa had to impose sanctions against Southern Rhodesia when the combatants, the freedom fighters, were still fighting to liberate Zimbabwe. And Mozambique imposed sanctions at great cost to the economy of the country, which was already weak. And then the Commonwealth accepted to establish a special fund for Mozambique to help Mozambique mitigate the impact of those sanctions. That's how the whole relationship developed. At that time, I was privileged to serve as a diplomat at the Mozambique embassy in Zimbabwe, and I worked with those from the Commonwealth on this project. And then Mozambique started participating in the meetings of the Commonwealth. And then the countries of the region, as Gildo has said, that surround Mozambique said, but why are you outside of the Commonwealth? This is not a colonizer organization. We want to make it different. So you should apply for membership. And the whole thing evolved. And then at a summit in New Zealand, our former Minister of Foreign Affairs was there to present the case of Mozambique, and then the heads of state of the Commonwealth went into seclusion to take some of the decision. That's how the Commonwealth works. They have just heads only meeting, and at that meeting we were told later, some countries said, oh, but we have to discuss the criteria to accept new members. And the problem was that Mozambique was not speaking English, Portuguese speaking, but Mozambique wanted to be a member of the Commonwealth. And President Mandela, at that time, he was president, said, okay, we can discuss the criteria, but let's admit Mozambique first, and then we'll discuss the criteria later. At that time, nobody could say no to Nelson Mandela, and of course, other countries of the Commonwealth also supported the proposal, precisely because of this dichotomy of colony and colonizer. And the Commonwealth is much more than that. what Mozambique wanted to gain out of it is the common and the wealth. And we are getting that. We have benefited, as you said, in terms of nation building, from capacity building, from belonging to an organization that has international standards of governance, political, economic, corporate governance. And we are learning from the organization. And of course, we bring our own experience to bear into the organization. And I think Mozambique is doing quite well. And the idea of Mozambique has always been, in its diplomacy, has been to have a universe of partnerships that allows it to take advantage of the opportunities that are offered in those partnerships. And the partnership with the Commonwealth has been great for Mozambique.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Who'd like to go next? Questions, comments? Yes, okay.
Hello, my name is Matteo from Italy. I'm a student, and I'd like to know something more about the situation in terms of transport infrastructures in your country to visit all around the country and move from a touristic area to another one. Thank you.
Should I answer now or get more questions to do it one in a row?
As you like. I would say answer it now unless there's a related question. Feel free.
Okay, thank you for the question. Grazie tanto. Parlo un poco di italiano. In terms of transportation, we have a national airline which connects all points of the country. As you might have seen, it's a very long country with 2,800 kilometers, a coastline. Not only we have the national airline linking all cities and tourist resorts, but we also have private-run companies which operate in the country. In terms of international accessibility, our airlines flies actually to Johannesburg, being the main hub in Southern Africa. We fly to Nairobi, which is a hub in Central Africa. And as from next month, Mozambican Airlines will be flying again because they had to interrupt to Lisbon. So it will be connecting flights Maputo-Lisbon, which will enable Europeans to either use the Joburg hub or the Lisbon one. In terms of roads, there are a big effort to rehabilitate roads. It is possible to connect the country from northern to south. And as I mentioned during my presentation, our main generating country is South Africa, and they usually go to Mozambique tourist resorts by road. So road accessibility is not a big problem. Infrastructure, there we have a bit of problems. That's why we've been actually promoting the country in terms of getting investments for not only for infrastructures but also for tourism development as such. But I would assure you, whenever you went to Mozambique, you will have water, purified water. You'll have electricity. We have some malaria problems. I better actually tell you well in advance so that when you visit the country, you take malaria prophylactics before you go. Health-wise, our network of health facilities is improving. The capital cities, all of them have good hospitals. In case for those niche markets which actually want to rely most on the neighboring countries, evacuation facilities for South Africa are available. Hotels and accommodation, we have about 18,000 rooms available for tourism. So it's actually a good number for an emerging market. That's all I would actually say in terms of transportation and infrastructure. And I hope I've actually met your expectations in terms of what you wanted to know. Wish you like to reiterate, then we can possibly, after this forum, go into details.
No questions or comments? If not, then I think we'll have to go to Mozambique ourselves to experience it. But in that case, allow me to take the opportunity to express my gratitude to you for having come, presented your beautiful country and the many opportunities that are there in terms of tourism as well as investments. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Hermenegildo Neves. Thank you.
Thank you.